I would recommend everybody go on mute.
Welcome, everyone. We're going to get started. You are tuning into the remote public scoping session for the Freedom Plaza project. Thank you for joining. Today's date is May 20th, 2025, and the time now is approximately 5:05 p.m. Please note that this session is being recorded. For those of you who have logged into Zoom and require language access services, please click the interpretation button at the bottom of your Zoom screen and select the applicable language. For those of you on a mobile device, tap the three dots in the lower right, select interpretation, and then select the applicable language. If you are experiencing any audio issues at any time during the session, please dial 669-900-6833 with session ID 881-1704-7939 and passcode 2025 to participate by phone. So good evening. I'm Robert Williams, the Executive Director of the New York State Gaming Commission, and I'll be presiding over today's scoping session in accordance with the State Environmental Quality Review Act, which is commonly referred to as SEQR. The Commission is the lead agency for the proposal environmental review. As the lead agency, the Commission is overseeing the preparation and completion of an environmental impact statement for the Freedom Plaza project. On April 18th, 2025, the Commission assumed designation as the seeker lead agency for the Freedom Plaza project's application to construct a commercial casino and associated development at 700 to 708 First Avenue and comprises lots 1 and lots 2 of Manhattan Block 970 on the east side of Manhattan. It is bound by First Avenue to the west, East 41st Street to the north, FDR Drive to the east, and East 38th Street to the south. The site is located near the United Nations complex, East River, open spaces, and public transit. The site project is across from the FDR Drive from New Wave Pier and across East 41st Street from the Robert Moses Playground. This project is contingent upon the issuance of a commercial casino gaming facility license by the New York State Gaming Commission. The proposed action is discretionary, subject to environmental review under seeker. The Commission determined the project to be a Type 1 action, and accordingly, the Freedom Plaza project applicant prepared Part 1 of the full environmental assessment form. After reviewing and analyzing the environmental assessment form, Part 1 and Part 2, on May 2nd, 2025, the Commission found the proposed action has the potential to result in one or more significant adverse environmental impacts in one or more environmental areas and determined that a draft environmental impact statement, or DEIS, was required and should be prepared. As required by seeker, the Freedom Plaza project's environmental consultants prepared a draft scope of work in consultation with the Commission. The Commission circulated its positive declaration, notice of seeker scoping session, and draft scope of work to involved and interested agencies and published the notice in the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation's Environmental Notice Bulletin on May 7th, 2025. Accordingly, the Commission scheduled this seeker scoping session to obtain public input for the final scope of the draft environmental impact statement. Together, we are here to receive comments on the draft scope of work for the Freedom Plaza project. The draft scope of work identifies all subjects that will be analyzed in the draft environmental impact statement and explains how those subjects will be studied. The draft scope is available at the website shown on the screen. The purpose of today's scoping session is to allow for public participation in the preparation of the DEIS at the earliest stage possible in the environmental review process. Specifically, scoping allows the public to shape the DEIS before it is written. To that end, the Commission will have an opportunity today to receive comments on the draft scope from elected officials, government agencies, community board chairs, and members of the public. We also welcome written comments on the draft scope of work. Those comments can be submitted through 5 p.m. on June 3rd, 2025 via email or by mailing the comments to the addresses on the screen. Subsequently, the draft environmental impact statement will be prepared in accordance with the final scoping document and will contain detailed information regarding the proposed action, potential environmental impacts, and appropriate measures to avoid, minimize, and/or mitigate any significant impacts encountered, as well as a description of reasonable alternatives and the no action alternative. The DEIS will be available for public comment and review following its consideration by the Commission as lead agency. Once the DEIS is accepted, the Commission will solicit comments on that draft document. At the end of the scope and comment period, the Commission, in its role as lead agency, will review and evaluate all comments that we hear today, as well as all written comments that we receive. After carefully reviewing all comments, the Commission will decide what changes, if any, need to be made to the draft scope of work, and the Commission will issue a final scope of work. It is the final scope of work that will serve as the basis for preparing the DEIS. No decisions will be made today regarding the draft scope of work. A final scoping document is expected to be completed within 60 days for the submission of the draft scope for the draft environmental impact statement and will be based on full consideration of the comments received on the draft scoping document, either orally here today or in writing before the end of the comment period. Today's session will be divided into 3 parts. During the first part of the session, we will have a brief overview describing Freedom Plaza's project and a summary of the draft scope of work. During the second part of the session, we will receive comments on the draft scope from elected officials, government agencies, and community board chairs. During the third and final part of the session, the Commission will receive comments from the public. The session will end only when everyone who has signed up to provide testimony has had an opportunity to be heard. Today's session will not be a question and answer session, but is intended to allow the public the opportunity to provide meaningful input regarding the scope and content of the draft environmental impact statement. On to a few logistics for today's scoping session. For those who have joined by telephone, you may dial *9 to indicate your desire to provide oral testimony during the public comment portion of today's session. Participants using the raise hand function or *9 will be added to the end of the speaker list in the order in which they raise their hands or press *9. Once you have spoken, we will lower your hand. Speakers will be identified by their name or the last 3 digits of their telephone number. The option to sign up to speak will end at 7 p.m. tonight. If you're reading prepared comments, it would be helpful to us if you email a copy of your comments to the Commission at kristen.buckley@gaming.ny.gov. That's KRISTEN.BUCKLEY@gaming.ny.gov. When it is your turn to speak, your name will be called and you will be granted temporary speaking privileges by the session administrator. Please note that promoting speakers can take some time, so we appreciate if you're patient. If you have pre-registered and are using Zoom, please ensure your name matches your name entered on your registration form. If you're dialing in, we will attempt to identify you by the phone number you provided on the registration form. If you did not register or have not provided identifiable information in Zoom, you may provide comments after the registrants. To allow us to hear everyone who wishes to speak, we ask that you limit your remarks to 3 minutes. You will note a 3-minute countdown clock will run on the screen. You will be advised when 10 seconds are remaining and when time expires. Lines will be muted for speakers who go past 3 minutes. If you join by telephone only, we will announce when the 3 minutes have passed. Comments provided in languages other than English will be translated into English. Any comments on the draft scope of work received in languages other than English will be translated and considered. If you wish to only provide written testimony, it may be submitted to the Commission, either mailing it or providing it by electronic email shown on the slide. Joining us next is Nicole Campo, Senior Advisor at Langen Engineering. I'd like Nicole to begin the session by providing a short project presentation on behalf of the applicant, after which she will discuss the draft scope of work and the analysis framework for the environmental review. Ms. Campo?
Hi, good evening. Thank you for joining everyone from the public and the full Freedom Plaza team here today. A quick technical note. There is a couple of yellow lines that just appeared on the screen. So if someone from our technical team can figure out how to get those off, that is not part of the presentation. But that being said, I'm going to continue. First, I will do a brief overview of the Freedom Plaza project, And then I will go into a bit more technical material regarding a summary of the draft scope of work. Here you see the full Freedom Plaza project team. There's a lot of folks that have been working very hard to make this possible. Next slide, please. And here's the project overview. So this is just to orient you all geographically. Our project site is located in New York City on the island of Manhattan. It is located in Community District 6 in Manhattan on the far east side. The site, oh, go back, please. The site is block 970, lots 1 and 2. It is located just south of the UN headquarters and just west of the FDR Drive. Next slide, please. Our site is approximately 6.4 acres. It is a vacant site, and as noted, it's bounded by the FDR Drive to the east, East 41st Street to the north, First Avenue to the west, and East 38th Street to the south. This is another view of the site taken kind of from a bird's eye view from the east, sort of looking down from the East River area. And you can see the context of the surrounding buildings in Manhattan around it, including, like I mentioned before, the UN just to the north. Next slide. Another view of our site here from the East River. This again shows the site as a vacant site. So any buildings you're seeing are labeled in the foreground. You'll see the Empire State Building nearby, one United Nations Park, one Vanderbilt, the United Nations headquarters, and several other landmark buildings in the surrounding area. Very briefly, I'm going to go into some of the site history. So, for about 100 years, from 1905 to 2005, this site was used as a Con Edison waterside plant. The site was decommissioned in 2005 and has sat vacant since 2008, with the exception of some temporary art exhibits that some may be familiar with. So again, this site has been sitting vacant since 2008. In 2008, in terms of walking you through the site history, the site went through an approval process with the New York City Department of City Planning, and it received an approval through the ULURP process for a mixed-use development, which you can see the approved project here on the screen. And this remains a vested approved project, meaning that the approval has not expired, and this may be built pursuant to the approval today. However, the developers here, wanted to kind of rethink the site. They were thinking about the view corridors coming from, the west side to the east, and the relationship to the waterfront. Next slide, please. Thinking about the building scale and how it related to the rest of the neighborhood. And maybe finding ways to link some of these buildings in a more creative way, while also next slide, enhancing some of the envisioned open space. The park is accessed. This will be so this is, looking at kind of how they got to the proposed Freedom Plaza proposal. This is accessed from First Avenue or 38th Street to the main part of this park. So it will be privately owned public space, meaning that it is open to the public and will be a new green amenity for the area. It's about 4.7 acres of open space. And it is a landscape with multiple levels that provide a variety of urban, open space and experiences and views. So this is a view or rendering rather of the development as seen from First Avenue. The open space is accessed by a grand stair with the ADA ramp. Uh, we'd like to note that there will be no curb cuts from First Avenue and only community space and community retail from First Avenue as well as the park access. And there would be no access to the gaming facility here. This is a $10 billion investment on a dormant 6.4 acre lot, as noted before. The Soloviev and Mohegan groups, who are the developers here, are family owned and mission driven firms with deep local roots and a record of social responsibility. So, as mentioned before, there would be nearly 5 acres of publicly accessible space that comes along with this project. Um, there would also be space for community performances and gatherings. It's going to be a world-class hotel and conference center from these resort leaders at Mohegan and Banyan, who would create the newest dining hub and bring amenities for entertainment. And just as you can see here, and in the next slide, can you go to the next slide, please? The site really prioritizes, pedestrian access and park access along First Avenue, with any vehicular activity, hotel, gaming, etc., accessed through the FDR Drive service road and the non-residential portion of East 41st Street to the north. This project so far has robust, please state on the previous slide, robust support from labor and workforce groups, bringing well-paying union jobs to the area. And there will be, expert security operations, comprehensive transit and transportation, and overall the activation of a now dormant for only almost 20 years now, 6.4 acre lot in New York City. No, next slide, please. This diagram here shows a comparison of the 2008 approved plan on the left compared with the proposed plan on the right. This the residential portion and the buildings here have been determined to comply with the previous 2008 approval. However, this is going through SECRA, as mentioned before, for environmental review and analyses, as this project seeks to kind of shift some of the programming and seeks the casino license through the New York State Gaming Commission. Next slide, please. So this is another view, bird's eye view from the East River of what this might look like upon completion. There's also this circular building here. This would be the Museum of Democracy, located within the open space with the views of the East River. Next slide, please. And this is a site plan view showing the different buildings at their base, and the various kind of components of the open space and kind of little niche areas for the community and visitors throughout the site. And again, another view from the East River. So now I'm going to give a very brief summary of the draft scope of work. So the draft scope of work establishes the basis for the analysis of the state environmental quality review. So what we will be doing for our analysis and in the documents here. And this draft scope of work document is available to the public right now. On the rest of the chapters that kind of demonstrate the analysis have not yet been finalized or published. This meeting kind of kicks off that process, and the comments are meant to help inform our analysis of the project and any potential impacts on the surrounding area. So what I'd like to just make sure, stay on that slide, please, that we establish here is that we are comparing the entitled condition, which is the 2008 approved project, with the proposed Freedom Plaza project, which, as you know, would include the casino, if this project were to be granted one of the licenses. It adds certain components like the museum and the hotel. And there's just some site plan designs. So there's a comparison here, and there's a more detailed comparison on the next slide in chart form. So here, and there's I don't know if someone else can use their pointer because I don't think you can see mine, but the entitled development, which is the 2008 approved plan, is listed in this column with the different uses and components on the far left-hand side. And then in the next column, the Freedom Plaza proposed project would be considered the with action condition. And then that increment, which means the difference between the entitled condition, aka the no action condition, and the with action condition, which is Freedom Plaza, the environmental analysis would be based on the differences between those items. So in some cases, there's more gross square footage for certain uses, and in other cases, there's less gross square footage, and in some cases, some uses have been added, some uses have been decreased. So this chart is the basis for the environmental review. Next slide, please. So these are the 21 areas of analysis that will be in the draft environmental impact statement, and that we will be doing further analysis. So this includes land use, zoning, and public policy, socioeconomic conditions, community facilities and services, open space, shadows, historic and cultural resources, urban design and visual resources, natural resources, hazardous materials, water and sewer infrastructure, solid waste and sanitation services, energy, transportation, air quality, greenhouse gas emissions and climate change, noise, public health, neighborhood character, construction, any alternatives, and any mitigation, and a summary of all of these chapters. So with this, we would now be opening this up to comments from the public. And at this time, I'm going to turn this back over to the Gaming Commission, who will facilitate the comment period and remind everyone on the call, the way in which people will be called, what the time limit will be, and also how you may comment, whether it's live during this session or if you'd like to follow up in writing. So I'm going to turn it back over to the New York State Gaming Commission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Just a note of correction, I misspoke. We have determined to accept comments through June 10th, 2025. Again, I had previously indicated that the comments would be accepted through June 3rd. We're extending it by an additional week. So that's June 10th of 2025 by 5 p.m. Again, thank you, Nicole. As a reminder, the purpose of today's session is to accept comments on the draft scope of work. Comments can be submitted in multiple fashions. At today's hearing, in spoken testimony, and by electronic mail or traditional mail sent to the Gaming Commission. Both our email address and mailing address are listed on the slide and is also on the Commission's website. Comments, again, will be accepted through 5 p.m. on June 10th, 2025. Before we start with part two, I want to mention that the elected officials and community board chairs and government agencies are not limited to the 3-minute limitation that we had indicated earlier. They have whatever time they believe is appropriate to convey their comments. We're going to now move to part two of this session, where we will receive comments on the draft scope from elected officials, government agencies, and community board chairs. When it is your turn to speak, your name will be called, and we will grant you temporary microphone access. If anybody experiences technical difficulties during their testimony, we will pause and move on to the next speaker to allow for the troubleshooting to happen in the background. We will call your name at a later time. We're going to now move to our elected officials, government agencies, and community board chairs. Mr. Park, will you please call our first speaker?
Just bear with me one moment while I go over the list here. Okay, we're going to call for Peter Nystrom from the city of Norwich. Peter Nystrom from the city of Norwich. I'll look for you in the chat. Okay. All right, Mr. Nystrom, you're unmuted.
Thank you so much. Mr. Chairman, members of the New York State Gaming Commission and honored guests and members of the Mohegan Tribal Nation, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I serve as the mayor of the city of Norwich here in Connecticut, and I'm here to offer my full and unwavering support for the Mohegan tribe, a sovereign nation with a rich cultural legacy, a long-standing presence in this region, and an invaluable role in our broader community. The Mohegan tribe and the city of Norwich have had a long history, as the city itself was born then out of a sale of land to the settlers at the time of Chief Uncas. The Mohegan people have been stewards for this land for generations. Their contributions to our economy, to our cultural identity, and to the strength of intergovernmental relations in the state are both historic and ongoing. Mohegan tribe has contributed over $3 billion in revenue to the state of Connecticut since opening the doors at Mohegan Sun, and has given thousands of Norwich residents employment. They have shown unwavering commitment to responsible governance, environmental stewardship, and sustainable economic development, while also preserving their unique traditions and histories. Over the years, the partnership between the Mohegan tribe and Norwich has won a mutual respect and shared progress. The tribe has invested in Norwich with the creation of the Sachem Fund, which was founded in 2007. A donation that was matched by the city was created to promote Norwich events and businesses in support of a variety of nonprofits and community volunteer organizations. The tribe has invested in regional infrastructure, created thousands of jobs, supported charitable organizations, and played a central role in education and cultural awareness throughout the area. As mayor, I've witnessed firsthand the positive impact the tribe has had, not only through economic development, but through their leadership in preserving sacred lands, promoting equity, and fostering a more inclusive community for all residents and Mohegan Sun team members. Their values of community, honor, and resilience reflect the very best of what we all strive for in public service, and their business sense has created a tourism hub in southeastern Connecticut that not only generates significant economic impact, but does so responsibly. I urge you to continue to recognize, support, and empower the Mohegan tribe and their vision for your city. Our region is stronger, more vibrant, and more just because of their enduring presence and leadership, and yours will be too. I thank you for your time, and I stand proud with the Mohegan tribe and their application. Thank you, and good evening.
Okay, next up we have Gabrielle Turzo from Community Board 6. Just give me one moment to find you in the chat.
Okay,
Okay,
good
your line is
evening.
unmuted.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. My name is Gabriel Terzo, and I'm speaking as the chair of Manhattan Community Board 6 Land Use and Waterfront Committee. My comments will focus on the environmental concerns raised by this proposal. Our committee supports ambitious, sustainable development along the East River, and this site presents a once-in-a-generation opportunity to create something bold and lasting there. But the proposal currently before us raises serious questions to that end. First, the draft environmental impact statement must account for the unique traffic impacts of a 24/7 casino, which the proposed draft scope of work fails to do. Studying the traffic effects of, quote, up to 12 intersections and the pedestrian experience of, quote, up to 11 intersections is completely inadequate for a project of this scale. There is no precedent for a large casino in an area this dense, and environmental review guidance is not well equipped to handle such a project. Unlike residential, office, or cultural uses, a casino induces unpredictable, high-volume private vehicle traffic at all hours. This project is asking for 121 more parking spaces in the entitled development for the site. That means more congestion and more stress on key corridors like 42nd Street, the FDR, the Queens Midtown Tunnel. Critically, it risks blocking or delaying access to the cluster of major hospitals along First Avenue, including NYU Langone, Bellevue, and the VA. We cannot allow casino traffic to threaten emergency care for the people of New York City. Second, we must acknowledge that a casino is fundamentally different from the kinds of large-scale development we typically support here. Residential buildings are predictable in their energy use and quiet in their off hours. A casino is the opposite. It is intentionally high consumption and constant in its operations. It runs 24/7 with peak electrical and HVAC loads, even when other buildings power down. This current proposal contains 1.1 million more square feet of built space than the approved development, despite containing 949 less units of housing. Placing that kind of use in a location prone to flooding raises major questions about long-term resilience and sustainability, while on the other hand, building dense infill housing is a well-established environmental practice. This failure to build the full amount of permitted housing on the site is particularly problematic while the city experiences an acute housing crisis. Finally, we urge a rigorous review of land use compatibility. This neighborhood is home to diplomatic missions, the United Nations, planned waterfront greenways, and critical public spaces. It deserves serious consideration, not as a development site, but as part of the larger civic landscape. We welcome development here, but the kind of development matters. The draft environmental impact statement must fully examine the real environmental costs of a casino on this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Gene McInnes. Gene McInnes. Give me one moment to find you. Okay, your line is open.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Jean McGinnis, the Environmental Protection Administrator for the Mohegan Tribe. And I've been in this position since 2005. So this is my 20th year as Environmental Protection Administrator for the Mohegan Tribe. While I understand that the state is reviewing the scope of the environmental review for the entire Freedom Plaza project, as you know, the proposed Mohegan Gaming facility is the central component of the development, and so we thought it was important for you to hear from us, the Mohegan Tribe, directly on environmental protection and sustainability. So I am going to read the Mohegan Reservation Sustainability Statement dated November 9th of 2015. The Mohegan Tribe recognizes that survival and well-being depends directly on or indirectly on the natural environment, and that sustainability means to create and maintain the conditions under which humans and nature coexist in productive harmony to support present and future generations. Therefore, we acknowledge the responsibility to the environment and commit to implementing practices which promote environmental sustainability with a specific focus on energy conservation to reduce our carbon footprint, conservation of resources through water use and source reduction, reuse, recycling, and reduction in waste. The tribe will consistently strive to raise awareness in the community, encourage employee participation, and train employees in environmental principles. Further, we created tribal law which meets or exceeds both the federal and state of Connecticut laws and regulations governing the protection of the environment and actively seek ways to improve on these guidelines internally. We will continue our commitment to the state of Connecticut green lodging certification for both of our hotels in Connecticut. We have well-developed principles for reducing, recycling, and reusing to lessen the environmental impact by striving to purchase environmentally friendly products and services throughout our supply chain and utilize sustainable vendor practices. We commit to regularly reviewing our business practices, determining whether each practice is suitable in an environmental context, and audit our practices to determine whether our goals have been reached. We will engage our stakeholders to become more ambitious in their sustainability efforts and will continue to work together to share best practices to ensure the greatest environmental, economic, and social impact. And I'd like to give you a few examples of what we're doing at the casino in Connecticut. Waste streams recycled. Our solid waste goes to a trash-to-energy incinerator plant in Lisbon. All of our construction debris is recycled. Scrap food waste from Mohegan restaurants goes to a local piggery. Fry-O-Later grease recycling goes to Western Mass Recycling for either to be made into biofuel or for animal feed. White paper and slot ticket recycling. Back of house beverage containers, cardboard, metal recycling with Casella, right here in Connecticut. Missions monitoring and reporting done by myself with EPA. Patron recycling program in the casino and hotel. Ink and toner cartridge recycling, hazardous and non-hazardous material recycling, including engine oils, solvents, coolants, paints, and thinners. Universal waste, meaning used electronics, batteries, lamps, ballast, mercury devices, pesticides are all recycled with my oversight. Compressed gas cylinder recycling, composting grass, leaves, and plant material. On our sustainable procurement side, we have recycled paper products. A number of items purchased contain post-consumer products. Local purchasing programs, 40% of our annual dollars are spent in the state of Connecticut. Hotel uses bulk containers for shampoo, body wash, and body lotion. Employee water filling stations allow easy access and decreases waste water bottles. Paint is low VOC paint used on property both interior and exterior. Food waste study and impact. Recent study brought awareness to waste reduction initiatives. Employee dining, outsourcing, and model change. A new system reduces waste through controls. Green chemicals. More than 10% of our cleaning chemicals used on the property are green certified, and they're made up in bulk and put into small containers. Pest elimination, we have a integrated pest management program, which reduces the use of pesticides. And we have a washable casino floor glass, which reduces waste. On our energy consumption side, we have an annual target of 5% reduction in consumption based on initiatives. Our building management system, which is used by our engineering group, allows us to control, manage, and troubleshoot the system with over 1,000 control points. EV charging. Just recently, we've upgraded our EV charging to accommodate 60 charging stations located throughout the property to support state initiatives for electric vehicles. We have variable frequency drive installation in our HVAC, hotel domestic water, and primary chilled water pump systems. Humidity sensors and controls for the Earth and Sky Casino and Hotel. LED lighting. We have casino retrofits above our beaded canopies, tables, tapestries, and inside Wambi Rock. We have either CFL or LED lighting retrofits, exchanges in hotel room lamps. Parking garage lighting conversion from HID fixtures to T8 fluorescents to use less energy. Back of house fluorescent lighting project, change all hallway lighting to lesser wattage lamps. We have in-room sensors. These are hotel rooms with occupancy sensors and back of house offices. Casino of the Wind has a glycol heat recovery system to warm the outside air upon intake. Our Connecticut Green Lodging certification is a successful certification by the state of Connecticut as a green lodging location from 2011 to the present. This
If you could please
certification,
try to wrap up your comments. We do have a lot of
yes,
people to speak. Thank
yes,
you.
of course. Thank you. Just this one more thing. We are the highest scoring hotel in the Deeps Green Lodging scoring process. And Mohegan's Environmental Protection Department, myself, with the support of the hotel ops team, has carried out this big certification program.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it. If
you
you could please
very,
email
very
your remarks,
much.
appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, next is going to be Jamie Smart from the New York City Housing Partnership. Your line is open.
Good evening. I am Jamie Smart. I'm the CEO of the New York City Housing Partnership. The Housing Partnership was founded in 1983 by Mayor Ed Koch and David Rockefeller to work alongside New York City and New York State to advance the creation of affordable housing in all 5 boroughs of New York City. Since 1983, the Housing Partnership has sponsored more than 88,000 affordable rental and affordable homeownership units in every borough of New York City. I am testifying today plainly and clearly in support of the more than 500 units of affordable housing that is proposed to be created by the Freedom Plaza mixed-use project. Affordable housing is a human impact. In addition to evaluating environmental impacts from the Freedom Plaza project, we believe that the state must also consider human impacts, particularly around housing access and community stability. The neighborhood encompassing this proposed project faces one of the most severe shortages of affordable housing in Manhattan, but also in the entire 5 boroughs. The supply of deeply affordable homes is not keeping pace with demand, causing street rents in this neighborhood to rise. With more than 500 affordable units, Freedom Plaza offers a tremendous opportunity to the city to address the housing shortage, and so the Housing Partnership finds itself in support. On this 6.4-acre undeveloped parcel, Freedom Plaza would provide a mix of public benefits, including new public space, opportunities for childcare, support for small businesses, living wage jobs, and as I mentioned above, permanently affordable housing opportunities. The permanently affordable housing is key for the housing partnership because it is tied to strong, enforceable legal commitments, not for 20 or even 40 years, but permanently. In conclusion, I ask that the state fully consider what is at stake here. Freedom Plaza is not just a development proposal. It is a chance to invest in housing, economic opportunity, and neighborhood equity for New Yorkers who have waited far too long for truly affordable and safe living opportunities. On behalf of the Housing Partnership, thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the pre-registered agency elected officials who noticed on the registration that they were elected officials.
So we're moving on to part 3, Lee?
Now we would move on to if there's any elected officials who are on the call.
Okay.
And I'm just pulling up the list. I'm not seeing anybody who's identified themselves and their name as being an elected official, so we can move on to part 3.
Okay, great. So part 3 of the scoping session is where members of the public are invited to speak. Instructions are the same. When it is your turn to speak, your name will be called and you will be granted temporary microphone access. Please note that after your time has passed, you will be asked to conclude your remarks. If you have experienced technical issues during your testimony, we will pause and to move on to the next speaker to allow troubleshooting in the background, and we'll call your name once you have again rejoined. Just a reminder, everyone has 3 minutes to speak. If you exceed your 3 minutes, we will cut off your microphone, and then we encourage you at that point to provide any unstated comments to the commission by either electronic mail or by letter. There is a timer that appears on the screen that will illustrate a countdown. Mr. Park, will you call our first speaker?
Yeah, so I'm going to be going off the list of people who registered ahead of time and did not indicate if they were an elected official. So if I call your name and you're on the call, I will search your name under the participants list and unmute you. If not, we will move on to the next name until we get down through that, and then we can move on to those who have raised their hands. So first off, we have Belinda DGM Batista. Belinda DGM Batista from Choose Your Metric. Let me see if you're here. If you wish to speak, you don't have your hand raised. If you do wish to speak, you can do so.
Hello. Hi, I would just like to say that I represent the HOPE program, which is a nonprofit organization in New York City that is a workforce development program. And we have had wonderful support from the Soloviev Foundation and the company with hiring some of our graduates that go through our workforce development program, and also in partnership with some of the art installations that they have put in place on this empty lot while it's been empty. So I just wanted to say that it has been greatly wonderful to work with an organization that is so supportive of a nonprofit like ours that has been around for 40 years, supporting New Yorkers in workforce development and re-entering them into the workforce. And so I just wanted to say that I support this project on behalf of the support that I've seen them offer to our nonprofit.
Thank you. Okay. Next up is Leslie Abbey from Hot Bread Kitchen. Leslie Abbey, give me one moment to find you. I'm not seeing a Leslie Abbey on the call. So we will move on to Maria Torres from the Point Community Development Corporation. Maria Torres, give me one moment. Okay, your line should be unmuted in just a second.
Hello?
Yep, you're good to go.
Okay, thank you. My name is Maria Torres. I am here on behalf of the Point Community Development Corporation. We are a nonprofit organization located in the Hunts Point section of the South Bronx, and our focus is on arts and culture, youth empowerment, and community revitalization. And we are testifying today on behalf of the Mohegan Sun and the Freedom Project regarding the workforce capabilities. Because in addition to considering all the environmental impacts from Freedom Plaza, we urge the state to also consider the human impacts. These human impacts include things like new affordable housing and new parkland in a neighborhood sorely lacking in both. But more specifically, I am here to talk about the impacts of this project on job creation and the 6,500 high-quality permanent living wage union jobs it will create for our clients and neighbors. My organization has proudly signed a letter of intent that commits Freedom Plaza, should they win one of the downstate casino licenses, to partnering with us on workforce recruitment and development programming, ensuring that quality union jobs are targeted to the communities that need them the most, We take this responsibility seriously, and so that's why we visited Mohegan Sun to learn firsthand what our clients might expect from Mohegan as a future employer and what their workplace culture was really like. And now we can confidently say that we believe Mohegan will be a strong, committed partner with organizations like mine and generate the types of high quality jobs our clients deserve. Again, we ask the state to consider what is at stake here, not only for the environment, but for the residents of New York City seeking jobs, opportunity, and a better future for their families, and recognize that those impacts should be considered as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Richard Bryan. Richard Bryan, I'm going to unmute you in just a second here.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with the board. I'm Richard Bryan. I'm a tax attorney, and I live in the Stuyvesant Town, Peter Cooper Village community, and I'm here speaking in favor of the proposed project. Initially, I was skeptical that a casino in New York was a good idea, but I put in a lot of time and effort to research the issues and concluded that on balance, the project is beneficial to the community. And I think it's beneficial by a very large margin. There's also more support within the Peter Cooper Village, Stuyvesant Town community than it may seem. Often people don't speak up when others with different opinions are loud or aggressive. And so I think there has been a little bullying around this issue. That's not to say that the objections to the project are invalid. Certainly not. But the objections that I've heard are either not backed by evidence or overstated or completely illusory. The reports I've read regarding the societal consequences of gambling, I'm not convinced that we'll see those negative effects here, especially when other urban communities, such as Philadelphia, have not seen a rise in crime or the other alleged negative consequences. A year after the project opens to great fanfare, no one is going to even know that there's a casino underground. But they'll certainly be enjoying the park and the museum and the different things to do where there'll be nothing of the sort without this economic incentive. People barely know when a UN General Assembly meeting is taking place unless they notice the helicopters flying around. There's not going to be any noticeable difference to the community after the project is completed with the casino compared to without the casino. I believe the benefits to the community are overwhelmingly positive, especially considering the $5 million minimum annual contribution to the Independent Community Investment Fund. I think this is a no-brainer for the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is going to be Bridget Andrew Kiewitz. I apologize for my pronunciation.
Hi, I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay. I am a resident of Manhattan. I live in Village View Cooperative Development, and I feel that this Freedom Plaza project is going to be wonderful for Manhattan, especially in the East Midtown area. I feel there's so many benefits. To me, it's like the Freedom Plaza is like a microcosm in itself because we will have parks, recreation area, al fresco dining, grab and go food kiosks, along with the affordable housing that is so needed, and I can see how the affordable housing in the Village View development where I am is so appreciated by the residents and so needed. And the Freedom Project will generate income for the city and the businesses and the restaurants all in that area of Midtown that I personally have seen them suffer with the effects of the pandemic. So many businesses have closed. I have set out to go to a certain business just to find that it's no longer there because it could not survive the pandemic. So I think this will be great for the area. I think with the casino, it will generate so many jobs. There'll be union jobs, and that's another thing that is so needed. So all I see are pros to this Freedom Plaza project. And so I'm totally in favor, and it has my total support. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Garrett Armwood. Garrett Armwood. All right. Garrett, assuming you don't wish to speak. Okay. Moving on. Guy Punzi. Punzi.
Lee, you're coming across very staticky.
Okay.
You might want to try Garrett again just in case.
Yeah, he's not unmuting his line, so I think we're good to move on. Okay, Guy Punzi. Okay. Moving on. Raymond Marino. Raymond Marino. Your line is open.
I'm good, thank you.
Jeffrey Ulrich. Jeffrey Ulrich. Jeffrey Ulrich, no? Okay. Nancy Ruddy. Nancy Ruddy. Nope. John Cetra. John Cetra. C-E-T-R-A. Christopher Pelosi. Christopher Pelosi. Okay. Nick Porter. Michael Harris. Yankee Sharing. I think this, all right, hold on. Okay, I think this says a company capital rich and for Yankee Sharing. Your line is unmuted.
All right, thank you very much. And good evening, everyone. My name is Rich Reynoso. I'm the Chief Lending Officer here at a company capital, an award-winning ARIS-rated community development financial institution. A company capital's mission as a CDFI is to serve the capital and business support needs of refugee, immigrant, and women entrepreneurs in New York City's 5 boroughs, and as of 2022 in Northern New Jersey. Our company capital's operations began in 1997. Our loan offerings range from as little as $1,000 to $350,000. We provide services in entrepreneurs' language with staff fluent in 15 languages and dialects. As of September 30th, 2024, we have provided $68 million in loans, $10,000 in business training, and have created 2,751 jobs. We are testifying today as in addition to considering the environmental impacts from the Freedom Plaza, we urge the state to also consider human impacts. These human impacts include things like new affordable housing, support for small business, and new parkland in a neighborhood sorely lacking in both. I'm here to talk about the potential impacts of the project on the small business community that our company serves, especially MWB food and beverage entrepreneurs. Our organization has proudly signed a letter of intent that commits to the Freedom Plaza should they win one of the downstate casino licenses, to partner with us on small business lending, support, ensuring the small businesses opportunities are targeted to the communities that need them the most. We take this responsibility seriously, and that's why we visited the Mohegan Sun to learn firsthand what our clients might expect from Mohegan as a future partner and what the organizational culture was currently like and what it could be in the future. Again, we ask the state to consider what is at stake here, not only for the environment, but for local entrepreneurs seeking opportunities and a better future for their families, and recognize that those impacts should be considered as well. I yield back my time. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you. Jessica Seliger, Seliger. Jessica Seliger. Your line is open.
Good evening. I'm Jessica Seliger, Dean of Workforce Development and Continuing Education at Bronx Community College, a two-year college of the City University of New York. Bronx Community College was founded in 1957 after a decade of effort by civic groups in the Bronx. We're located in the University Heights neighborhood of the Bronx, and we have more than 6,000 students in degree programs, plus 200 plus students in our non-degree training programs in IT, hospitality, food handling, healthcare, education, and construction. 70% of our students are Bronx residents. 70% are first-generation college students. 29% have a household income of less than $15,000, and 45% are working while in school. Many report food and housing insecurity. Our Division of Workforce and Continuing Ed provides training and certifications that lead to pathways and family-sustaining jobs for community members who may or may not be pursuing college degrees. Offered at low and no cost to those who are unemployed and underemployed in the Bronx and throughout New York City, our courses in construction, food handling, healthcare, IT, and education prepare our trainees with the essential certifications, skills, and credentials to meet growing local employer demand. And our Office of Career Development prepares all of our graduates with resumes, job search skills, interview prep, and a boutique with no-cost brand new professional attire. Having met with Mohegan Sun, both at a site visit in Connecticut and on our campus, we really believe that this is an unprecedented opportunity to partner with a private sector employer and create pathways to union jobs in New York City. The scale and scope of these employment opportunities at nearly 7,000 is huge and truly unprecedented opportunity for our working students. It's rare to see this at scale, especially, I underscore, with a private sector partner committed to unionized jobs. And we saw in our site visit, both in Connecticut and at our subsequent in-person meeting at BCC, that this is truly a values-based company that puts an emphasis on high-quality, family-sustaining jobs and career pathways. They told us how they promote from within, how some of their executives started as interns or in entry-level service sector jobs, and they support educational pathways and opportunities for post-secondary advancement for their existing employees. We as partners would not only train their incoming workforce in culinary and hospitality jobs, but continue to provide pathways to degree attainment and specialized training for their existing workers. We wholeheartedly support this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Johnny Sedano, Cedano. Johnny Sedano. Lori Levin. I have two Lori Levins.
We're all set. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Phyllis Calistro, Calistro.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am a community resident. I too live in Stuyvesant Town, Peter Cooper Village, and I essentially just agree with my neighbor, Richard Bryan's statement that from a community resident perspective, seems like a no-brainer, entirely positive. In particular, adding so many units of affordable housing, as well as putting $5 million back into the community, to me, just seems like a win-win situation. And I am familiar with Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. That's how I got involved in this whole proposal. And I think they do a great job there. I go there several times a year, and I think it's probably the best casino there is out there. And I wholeheartedly support the project. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah Whittington. Sarah Whittington. Letty Simon. Letty Simon. Okay. Tanya Arias or Arias? Tanya Arias. Joseph Guerrero. Joseph Guerrero. Breon Wilson. Breon Wilson.
How are you guys? I'm sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. Good afternoon to everyone. Yeah, I'm just going to read a little bit of the testimony. So first, hello to everyone again. And I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Breon Wilson. I'm from the Hope Program. I am actually the Business Development Manager. And I just wanted to present for the business development team. And so I just wanted to say my name is Breon Wilson. I'm here on behalf of the business development team at the Hope Program. Hope is a workforce development organization that has served New Yorkers for nearly 40 years, providing training, job placement, and career advancement services to individuals facing significant barriers to employment. Our programs operate across 5 boroughs, connecting our graduates to meaningful living wage jobs in industries ranging from hospitality to green infrastructure maintenance. We are here today because while it is critical that the state evaluates the economic and the environmental impacts of the proposed Freedom Plaza development, we urge you to also weigh the profound human impacts of this project, impacts that speak directly to the lives and futures of the people we serve. Freedom Plaza offers the promise of thousands of new affordable housing units and desperately needed public parkland in a neighborhood that lacks both. Excuse me, guys. 6,500 permanent union jobs and thousands more construction jobs. Based on recent data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, there are about 528,000 unionized jobs in New York City's private sector. The proposed project with Mohegan will increase this number by 1.3%, creating a once-in-a-generation chance to connect New Yorkers, particularly those from historically underserved communities with career pathways that lead to economic stability, upward mobility, and generational wealth. To meet this tremendous workforce demand, strong partners will be essential. One employer cannot recruit, train, and credential the workforce required to build and sustain a mixed use of development at the Freedom Plaza. That's where organizations like Hope come in. We prepare job seekers for roles in building maintenance, facility maintenance, operations, and more precisely, the kinds of jobs that will be critical to the long-term success of this development. Should they receive one of the downstate casino licenses, uh, Mohegan will partner closely with the Hope program to implement robust workforce recruitment and development program and prioritizing access to high quality union jobs for the communities that need them most. We take this responsibility very seriously. This is why we've met extensively with the Mohegan Sun team, including a visit to their flagship location to understand their workplace culture, and employer practices, and long-term commitments to equity and inclusion. Based on those conversations, we provide this development will be strong, principled, and enduring partners for Hope and organizations like ours. We urge the state to consider what is at stake, not only in terms of land use. Sorry, guys, but thank you. I'll finish it off here. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity just to speak for Hope, and I look forward to continuing to speak with you guys and working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you. David Reif, Reiff. David Reif.
Yes. Hello.
Yep, we hear you.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for the opportunity to address this group. My name is David Reif, or David Reif, as you mentioned. I am a 46-year resident of Tudor City. I am vice president of the parks in Tudor City and also involved with the Tudor City Association. But I'm really speaking on my own behalf. As somebody who lives in the neighborhood, and with all due respect to the many people who have spoken, the only person that I heard that really addressed things in particular to the neighborhood and to the community was Mr. Gabriel Turzo from Community Board 6, which has opposed the project. Of course, we all want to see workforce development. We want to see opportunities created and more affordable housing and so forth. And I think that many of the projects that have been proposed throughout the city and throughout the state also address those things and can provide those opportunities. The things that I'm not hearing discussed, except for things that Mr. Turzo mentioned, is, for example, what's going to happen when the United Nations meets in September and all the world diplomats come over here. The NYPD shuts down First Avenue all completely, and the FDR is closed when the president is coming, and the helipads are closed and everything. The casino is not going to be able to operate during September, and I can't see that they're going to make accommodations that people can go through the police blockades. I can't even go down my own street without showing ID, and I've lived here 46 years. So that's one issue. Also, Mr. Turzo mentioned about the hospitals. NYU, Langone, Bellevue, and all the hospitals up First Avenue. There's ambulances that are taking people there all the time. And if the traffic and congestion that happens here and the FDR gets worse, it's going to be an issue. I also have concern about what is underneath that property there. The Midtown Tunnel ventilation shaft runs right next door to the property, and the Midtown Tunnel runs alongside, if not under that property. And when Hurricane Sandy hit, the United Nations was flooded up to the 3rd floor. So there's a lot of infrastructure under the ground, and I think that there's a lot of engineering that's going to have to be done if they're going to be dynamiting or doing construction down there. We all saw what happened when the Midtown Tunnel got pierced by somebody drilling in the wrong place. God forbid that happens. What's going to happen with the MTA, with Amtrak, with Metro, with Long Island Railroad, and all the transportation problems. These are the issues that I'd like to see addressed, and not just job creation. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is David Garza. David Garza. Your line is open.
Hi, good evening. Following that up, my name is David Garza. I'm the president and CEO of the Henry Street Settlement. I'm also the executive chair of the Lower East Side Employment Network. Lower East Side Employment Network is a collaboration of 8 human service providers, including University Settlement, Grand Street Settlement, Educational Alliance, Good Old Lower East Side, The Door, Chinese American Planning Council, Chinatown Manpower Project, and Vision Urbana. Collectively, we serve many thousands of low-income New Yorkers in the areas of healthcare, housing, benefits access, the arts, food, nutrition, education, and employment. As a network, we've worked with a range of economic development projects since we were created in 2005. This is the Lower East Side Employment Network, and our goal is to provide vocational training and help create access to jobs that are creating as the direct result of economic development like this project. I'm here to speak today to partnership on one of the most notable human impacts should the project come to fruition, which is job creation. It is anticipated that close to 7,000 high-quality permanent living wage jobs are going to be created for our clients and neighbors. And the Lower East Side Employment Network has a signed letter of intent that commits Freedom Plaza, should they win one of the licenses, to partner with us on workforce development, to develop programming, to invest in our programs through financial support, with the goal of targeting and providing access to the quality union jobs that are created for the communities that need them most, like ours. We have extensive experience engaging with employers, and so we also met with Mohegan to learn what our clients might expect and how their workplace culture will inform the job quality and benefits of the positions that will be created. We can say that we believe they're going to be a strong, committed partner and work hard to generate access to the high-quality jobs that our clients deserve. So as such, we ask the state to consider all the human impacts, that all the impact components here, not only for the environment, but also for the residents of New York City that are seeking jobs, an opportunity for a better future for their families, and to recognize the importance of those impacts in their consideration as well. Thank you so much.
Josef Wilhelm. Josef Wilhelm.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me and see me. My name is Rabbi Josef Wilhelm. I'm a rabbi who works with Chabad Young Professionals, about 7,000 young professionals on the Eastern Manhattan. And I want to fully support this project in its entirety. I ask that the government and all those who care realize that, aside from all the other points brought up here today, we really have to look at who is behind a project when they're doing it. And this is experience I have as a rabbi for 20 years. More than the project is who's behind it. And I want to speak to that. Of course, the Mohegan tribe, people who care about the land and of America, maybe in their blood for 350 years, or I should say more than 350 years that we've been here, but thousands of years. And to speak to the Solar Vibe group, was partnering on this, and what they've done already in the space, with the Field of Lights, the Walk of Freedom, keeping it clean, safe, exceptionally inclusive, people who care so much for the values of America, the values of freedom, how they're looking to be givers and not takers. They just want to give back to the community, and they already give back to the community. They give a lot back to the community and are hoping to give more back to the community. They really care about New York City, and look at the Solo family, what they've built in New York City. Beautiful buildings, kept it always clean, always safe, always improving the environments and the neighborhoods that they've come to. So I strongly urge all those who have consideration here in the government level and the local level to realize that who are the partners, the people who are looking to build this beautiful plaza. And they put so much effort and time to make it beautiful. So New York should be beautiful, and space for parks, space to create money back for people, for all New Yorkers to enjoy, and to bring other people to come and enjoy New York. These are people who have proven with a long track record that they really care about New York and everyone in New York. They do their job seriously. They do their job professionally. And I give them my full support and strongly encourage everyone else to do the same. Have a great evening, and thank you for your time.
Next up is Shoket Ahmed. Shoket Ahmed.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Hi, this is Shoket Ahmed. I'm at the Homsey Spear. New Yorkers, been a long time as a New Yorkers, been 30 years in New York, and it started from there to owners, real estate owners, investors, and broker at the Homsey Spear. I joined that panel from beginning of these projects. I think it's a great project. It will bring a lot of cash flow for New York City, and especially in the east side, need a lot of develop. Is about the time, and it makes sense. It will look great and bring a lot of employment also. As you see, the west side of New York, Hudson Yard, and the other side is developed a lot. If you compare that, we have nothing much happened. That's like a Hudson Yard. I think this is the projects will be compared to the other side, including the casino, will be great. And thank you for letting me allow me to speak and joining this panel. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Michelle Risa. Michelle Risa.
Hello. Thank you for this opportunity. So hi, I'm a resident of Murray Hill for 36 years, and I'm an advocate for Freedom Plaza as proposed by the Soloviev Group. Specifically, I applaud the 513 units for working people can afford, the daycare center, and it's being built by union labor. Job creation, number two, that was number one. Number two, job creation as well as supporting local vendors. Three, the museum and community center for local organizations to utilize. Four, a 5-acre park. And five, a community reinvestment fund at $5 million per year in grants to nonprofit initiatives throughout Midtown East. Finally, Soloviev Group has proven to offer human-centric values, given the field of lights, the Liberty Plaza exhibit currently on this space, and all I've previously highlighted. Thank you for hearing my reasons to accept Freedom Plaza as proposed by Soloviev.
Next up is Kathleen DePerna. Kathleen DePerna. Your line is open.
Thank you so much. Good evening, and thank you to the New York State Gaming Commission for the opportunity to testify this evening. My name is Kathleen DePerna, and I'm the Director of Strategy at Hot Bread Kitchen. We're a New York-based nonprofit that creates economic opportunity through culinary skills, job training, food entrepreneurship, and an ecosystem of support for individuals who face barriers to meaningful careers. The food industry is one of the largest and fastest growing sectors in New York City and a desired and accessible sector for the communities we serve. Over the past 17 years, we've enrolled over 2,000 program participants, whom we call members, into
Okay, we appear to have lost that speaker, but if they're able to reconnect, or they can email us their comments and we'll put it into the record. Next up is George Brown.
Lee, please make sure you reset the timer.
Yep.
Thank you.
Russell, you got that. All right. George, your line is unmuted.
Good evening. Thank you. I'm George Brown from the Tudor City Association. We have 4,000 residents that live across the street from this proposed development. We are very concerned about its impacts on our neighborhood, and we are not as positive as everyone else on this call. We believe the impact statement is insufficient in that it basically fails to mention Tudor City other than 3 times, almost incidentally. Regarding neighborhood character, it's only going to analyze within a quarter mile of the project. Tudor City is at least parts of it, about a third of a mile, so the quarter mile should be expanded maybe at least to half a mile, or specifically mention Tudor City and ensure our neighborhood character is well analyzed. Second, historic resources. It only talks about analyzing historic resources within 400 feet. That's probably only one of our historic buildings in Tudor City. It should analyze the entire Tudor City district, not just 400 feet from the proposal. Next, regarding transportation, again, this is insufficient. Regarding traffic, it's only talking about 12 selected intersections. Tudor City is a cul-de-sac. There are no streetlights. There are some stop signs. There's some speed humps. It should analyze all of Tudor City and the effect on traffic in our neighborhood. The same thing for pedestrians. It talks about 11 intersections. That's not enough. It should be probably a half mile, and make sure all of Tudor City is analyzed. And then just in general, it needs to analyze the real effect on our neighborhood. No one can know anything until we do this environmental impact statement. And I applaud the state in doing that. It's what we need, a real environmental impact statement that tells us what this is going to do to our neighborhood. Thank you.
Next is Dan Biederman. Your line is open.
Thank you very much. I'm the creator and operator of Bryant Park, as well as a consulting firm that does similar things, Biederman Redevelopment Ventures, and a consultant to the project. Freedom Plaza's public spaces are going to be beautiful and provide the entire east side of Manhattan with amenities that are not available outside of Bryant and Central Parks. By integrating community options from the outset, this 4.7-acre project has ensured that its green spaces and programming meet the everyday needs of Midtown East residents. The combination of a central lawn, waterfront promenade, and cultural installations bring much needed green space for recreation, relaxation, cultural programming, and children's play to the area. As we've seen in other successful revitalizations, when a space is thoughtfully managed and actively used, as this one will be, it becomes safer and economically beneficial. Freedom Plaza has the potential to become a model for how development projects can also add public spaces that truly elevate urban life around them. Just adding to that statement, I've worked with Jim Burnett, the landscape architect, all over the country, particularly in the best cat park in the country, in Dallas, and Clyde Warren Park, and in Houston, and in North Carolina. Jim is excellent. I often get retained on projects where a choice has been made that is not nearly as good. And I was really, when I heard that the Soloviev and Mohegan Sun people had picked Jim, it'll be terrific and a lot of impact on your 21 areas of analysis that you highlighted. And the last comment is, anybody who hasn't seen Mohegan Sun in person really ought to go see it before they worry about the impact of this proposal. It's magnificent. I had never been there before. And bringing that kind of quality to New York will be a terrific thing for the city. Thanks very much.
Okay, next is Mike Urgo. Mike Urgo. Your line is open.
Great. Hi, my name is Mike Urgo. I'm the president of the Connecticut League of Conservation Voters. Many of you may know, as our sister LCVs, we serve as a nonpartisan nonprofit organization dedicated to protecting our state's environment by making it a priority for our elected and community leaders. If you're considering a casino at this property, I want to testify because of the partnership that we have with the Mohegan Tribe. They've been great allies over the years, and they've joined us in advocating for bold, community-driven environmental leadership across the region. Mohegan tribal leaders have been clear that the core of their tribal philosophy and credo is how they value and respect the natural environment, considering it essential for their tribe. And that commitment to stewardship doesn't just end with their work of their tribal government it leads. It's a value that I've seen in their business. The collaboration between our organization and Mohegan promotes sustainability, strengthens conservation efforts, and supports policies that safeguard the health of our environment and communities. It's why we recently honored Mohegan Tribal Councilor John Harris with the CTLCV Community Impact Award for his outstanding environmental leadership and dedication to long-term stewardship. And it's really not just what they preach, we see it in practice. I'm very impressed with the fact that they recognized their carbon footprint and took steps to mitigate by purchasing land in Costa Rica to offset carbon dioxide emissions in the form of sequestration. The land has been planted with native trees that trap carbon dioxide quickly and efficiently. I've been to, and actually I live very close to Mohegan Sun, and it's not only clean property, but they prioritize environmental friendliness by championing green cleaning, which includes the use of eco-friendly products such as laundry detergents, Green Seal certified chemicals, and HEPA filtration systems to allow for cleaning and health without harming the environment. They've always led on recycling, not just consumer waste, but 100% of the water used on property and 700 tons of food waste and scraps are transported to local farms each year. They're continually recognized by Connecticut's environmental regulator with a Green Lodging Council certification. But I'm not here on behalf of Mohegan. I'm just here as an environmental advocacy leader who's seen their work and witnessed their commitments. And I'm confident they will embody the same values in Manhattan that they have in Eastern Connecticut. We know the Mohegan tribe, its leaders, and the businesses which they operate. We're confident that they continue to set a powerful example for communities, not just in Connecticut, but regionally as well. And I've shared with my partners at the New York League of Conservation Voters that I'm excited to see the potential of this project and believe Mohegan will be ready to deliver on the commitments as part of this process. I know they're a great example of a corporate citizen, and they take our planet seriously, and I highly recommend working with them. Thank you.
Michael Mandel. Liz Burr. Nancy Sheeran. Laurie Sexton. Robert Linden. Your line is open.
Thank you. My name is Robert Linden, and I have the privilege of serving as the pastor of the Bethelite Institutional Baptist Church in Brooklyn, New York. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak this evening in strong support of the Freedom Plaza project. I joined this conversation not only as a pastor, but as someone deeply committed to justice, fairness, and the opportunity for all New Yorkers, especially those whose communities have too often been overlooked in the large-scale developments. This is why this project matters. Our state is undertaking a historic process to license three gambling and entertainment destinations. We must ensure that these projects benefit everyone, not just the well-connected. Freedom Plaza distinguishes itself not only by its scale, but by its focus on fairness, inclusion, and long-term investment in the well-being of our communities. I've taken time to learn more about this team behind this proposal, and I'm encouraged by what I see. Their commitment to creating good paying union supported jobs. Just as compelling is their proposal to create a community reinvestment fund, which will direct critical resources to local nonprofits, youth programs, and frontline services in neighborhoods that need them most. Their commitment to expand green space also deserves recognition. I'm especially inspired by the project's focus on civic education and public engagement through the Path of Liberty and the proposed Museum of Freedom and Democracy. This is not simply development a casino. It's about building something that reflects the best of our values: fairness, opportunity, community empowerment, and culture renewal. For all these reasons, I proudly and wholeheartedly support the Freedom Plaza project. Thank you for the opportunity to share these reflections, and I urge you to keep the voices of local communities and everyday New Yorkers at the center of this important process. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Bobby Shamsian. Bobby Shamsian.
Yes, hello.
Your line is open.
Thank you, everyone, for your time here. My name is Bobby Shamsian. I am a resident here in Sutton Place, and I have been a part of the community here for the past 10 years, and looking forward to this project and fully support this project that the Soloviev Group has embarked on with the support of the community here. For work, I am also a developer, and I don't work so much here in New York City, but in other states, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and we also look to always develop communities. So I really understand what the group has been doing here and what they're looking to achieve. And the end game is not just to build really a casino, it's really to improve the community. And I think the community will get a lot of benefit from this opportunity with regards to workforce housing, with regards to further employment, large scale charitable work that will be as a result of the development, and a lot of donations that will go into the community directly. And I think that this is really what a project is all about, that the community can come together and see what we can work on and how we can improve where we'll be better off for it. So I fully support this opportunity. I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to have gotten to know the Soloviev Group over the past year, and look forward to a partnership here with the people that this project will eventually affect. Thank you.
Next up is Shmuel Metzger. Shmuel Metzger.
Hi, good evening. You hear me?
Your line is open.
Okay. So my name is Shmuel Metzger. I'm a rabbi here in Sutton Place, and I have the privilege of being the spiritual leader of the Sutton Place Chabad Jewish community. I would like to join the long chorus of people praising this project, and I also it's an honor to be part of this democratic process, listening to all different people and with all their from people on both sides. It's nice to be part of this conversation. I had the privilege of being at an evening that the Soloviev sponsored, where they engaged the community and addressed any potential issue. Some of the issues mentioned before. So I've studied this project very well, and I think that, as mentioned before, the advantages far outweigh any potential disadvantage, and specifically, what I think is wonderful about this project, and what I think is the best part of the project, is the park. As a rabbi, I see a lot of people, especially after COVID, suffering from mental illness and loneliness. A park is something very much needed, certainly for that part of Midtown. Further north, you have Central Park. It's really there's some pieces of grass from those zoning incentives from the 80s, but this is a big piece of land, and it's a great opportunity. I think it's perfect to have something like that, a privately controlled public space. I was thinking of Bryant Park. I see before that we had Mr. Biederman was here, so that's something more of that. I think it's wonderful, and thank you for having me here tonight.
Thank you. Next is Ambassador Susan Johnson Cook.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. It's my honor to be here, both as a religious leader and a business leader, native New Yorker. I totally support the Freedom Plaza project. As a pastor in New York City for 30 years, I've pastored on the Lower East Side, Manhattan, Harlem, and the Bronx. And now I represent as a spiritual leader of 20 Black women pastors, totaling about 7,000 congregants of New York. I wholeheartedly support this project for many reasons. One, I was an NYPD chaplain, so I was a member of a union. And when I was very attracted to their union support and development and usage. I also just recently completed my tenure with President Obama as International Religious Freedom Ambassador. And so I was very attracted to the Liberty Museum because we need to uphold democracy. After that, I was able to meet with Mohegan and Soloviev, and I am so impressed by the values that we share, that they're committed to our communities, uplifting our communities, making sure there's not only workforce development, but also using minority women and men as contractors. I'm also very impressed with their use of the Reinvestment Act, making sure our communities are uplifted and included in the process. I live in the summers in Sag Harbor, so I'm near the Shinnecock Reservation, and we had to go through a similar process with gaming, and I can tell you that it's very, very beneficial to communities. So as a native New Yorker, as a religious leader, as a business owner, I wholeheartedly commit to this project, support it. I've already sent a letter of support, but I wanted to also document tonight my vocal testimony in terms of supporting them for reinvestment, for community uplifting, for developing workforce, for park space that's environmentally friendly, for having spaces for our community to be able to serve and live and have a quality of life that is above the average that we experience in New York City. So it is my wholehearted joy to testify tonight in full support of the Freedom Plaza project. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Next is Eric Elowitz. Eric Elowitz.
Yes. Hi, my name is Eric Elowitz, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak in favor of the proposal. I'm a member of the Chabad Sutton. In addition, I've been a resident of this community for over 30 years. I've been impressed by the thoughtful design of the proposal, as well as the new jobs and housing that it will provide. The neighborhood will benefit from the green spaces, museums, restaurants. The designers of this project have really integrated the Freedom Plaza into the neighborhood. And I also appreciate the level of social responsibility, including support for community-based organizations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Barbara Alicia. Barbara Alicia. Your line is open.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Barbara Alicea. I represent the Point CDC here in the South Bronx. My colleague has spoke earlier before. We specialize or we have interest in environmental justice here, arts and culture, and also youth development. In addition to considering environmental impacts from the overall Freedom Plaza development, we urge that the state to also consider human impacts of the project. The scale of the workforce opportunity, we're talking about 6,500 permanent union jobs and thousands of union construction jobs, which is unprecedented in our lifetimes, and it offers an entry point to the living wage employment and generational wealth creation, especially here in the South Bronx, for New Yorkers also from the community we serve, which is located on the 6 line subway line, which will connect our residents with this proposed development. Also, addressing this great workforce demand generated by the project will also require strong workforce partnerships with nonprofit workforce training, job placements, and youth development organizations across New York City. Mohegan alone can create the career awareness and provide the recruitment, training, and credentialing that will be required for all the union workers it will need to operate. So the Point is one of those nonprofit organizations that will be an essential part of the workforce development ecosystem, which cultivating interest in culinary arts and destination management among the teens and young adults that we serve here. My organization has proudly signed a letter as well of intent that commits Mohegan and Freedom Plaza, should they win one of the downstate casino licenses, to partnering with us on these early cultivation and career exposure activities, helping to ensure that the quality union jobs are ultimately targeted to the communities that need them the most. We take this responsibility very seriously, and so that's why we've met with Mohegan team to learn firsthand what our members might expect from Mohegan as a future employer and how their workplace culture informs job quality and benefits. And now we can confidently say that we believe Mohegan will be a strong, committed partner with organizations like mine and generate the types of high quality jobs our clients deserve. Again, we ask the state to consider what it is at stake here. It's not only for the environment, but for the residents of New York City seeking jobs, opportunity, and a better future for their families, and recognize that those impacts should be considered as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Theodore Perez. Theodore Perez. Your line is open.
Hello, hello. Good evening, staff and commissioners of the New York State Gaming Commission. My name is Theo Perez, and I'm here today representing SEIU Local 32BJ. 32BJ is the largest union of property service workers in the country, representing over 175,000 members across 13 states, including tens of thousands of commercial property service workers, security officers, and residential building staff here in New York City. 32BJ supports responsible developers who invest in the communities where they build. I'm happy to report that the developers of this proposed project have made a credible commitment to creating good jobs for the workers who will permanently staff the residential portions of the project. We estimate that this development will allow for the creation of well over a dozen property service jobs. Good jobs like these mean prevailing wages, meaningful benefits, and a pathway to the middle class for local community workers. Moreover, we need more housing to be built in every neighborhood of New York City to ensure that working families are not displaced by dwindling supply and skyrocketing rents. The proposed approvals, if granted, would allow for hundreds of over 1,000 residential units, including a significant number, hundreds, of permanently income restricted units for low to middle income residents. As the cost of living rises and working New Yorkers struggle to stay in their homes, it is more important now than ever to create affordable housing and good jobs which uphold the industry standard in the city. For all these reasons, 32BJ is in strong support of the Freedom Plaza project. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next is Andrew Aryeh, A-R-Y-E-H. Andrew Aryeh.
Hi, thank you very much. My name's Andrew. I've been an Upper East Sider my whole life, and I work in real estate. I manage 2 properties just a couple of blocks away of the proposed Freedom Plaza, 32 Beekman Place and 34 Beekman Place. I think that this is a no-brainer for the city. I think that it would be great to have some more development on the east side of Manhattan. We've had Hudson Yards on the west side, and we've had the High Line, but I don't think the east side has had enough of these types of projects. I think that, my humble opinion, the more the merrier, the more parks and museums, the more apartments, the more casinos, or only casino. I think that it can only be a positive for the whole Upper East Side community. I think that what one of the gentlemen said previously about the traffic, I understand that's definitely a concern, but I think that the United Nations meeting is only 1 week out of the 52 weeks per year. And that might be a problem, and traffic is a pain that 1 week. But I think for the rest of the 51 weeks in the year, having this casino and having this project be built will do wonders for the whole Upper East Side, Midtown East community. I personally would love to go there. I think that my residents in my buildings would love to go there, and I hope that it gets approved.
Thank you. Next is going to be Takumbo Shobowale. And again, I apologize for pronunciation. Takumbo Shobowale. Give me one moment. Your line should be unmuted. Okay. Give me one moment, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we do hear you.
My apologies for the technical difficulties. I just want to thank everyone for the chance to speak. I'm a local community, well, not a local community resident, but I have worked in the area and lived in New York for 25 years, spent time working at the UN. I actually bike by the site regularly and also play on local community soccer teams. Want to say, generally speaking, obviously any development is difficult. It sounds like that there's a lot of thought in putting this development. I think the open space, as several people said, is sorely needed in the area, and would welcome that, as well as contributions to local parks to support much of the active use of parks in the area. So I think there's a lot to be commended about the project. The one thing that I think I want to underscore, several other people have said, is that the traffic is a real issue. Putting 1,200 parking spaces on the site, I think, would be incredibly already, as we all know, the traffic in Manhattan is difficult, not just on the one day of UN week, which we know is gridlock, but traffic is bad at all times. And so I think it's really important that the impact really seriously consider that. As several people said, that would be nonstop. Putting that many parking sites on site would just exacerbate the problems. And take advantage of the fact that the site is located just a couple of blocks from Grand Central Terminal, which is one of the best transit hubs in the country. So not only do we have multiple subway lines running north, south, and east, west, but also Long Island Railroad now comes into Grand Central, as well as Metro North. And so the impacts should carefully consider the impacts of all the traffic, parking spots on site, and potentially explore the alternative of using connections to the mass transit, which is rich in the area, because that will be serious impact, not just in the local community, but throughout New York City, frankly. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you. Next is Lisa Jenkins Brown.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much. As you said, my name is Lisa Jenkins Brown, Reverend Dr. Lisa Jenkins Brown. And I am actually the proud New Yorker, a proud native New Yorker, and the senior pastor of the St. Matthew's Baptist Church of Harlem. I'm excited really to support Freedom Plaza because it's not just another development. It is a statement of values. Here in a city where working families are overpriced or being priced out rather every single day, this project includes 500 units of affordable housing. And that's not charity, like some people say. That's actually justice. That's sending a strong message to teachers, to essential workers, to young parents that say you deserve to live in the city that you help keep running each and every day. Also, with over 17,000 union jobs, I think this project is perfect. It's going to fuel economic opportunities that will transform lives, that will transform families and communities. Because we're not just talking about jobs here, we're talking about bridges. We're talking about bridges to stability, bridges to healthcare, to retirement, bridges to building generational wealth, especially for communities that for far too long have been told they have to wait their turn. This is economic justice, and I say that it's long overdue. Equally meaningful, I feel, is the plan for a community reinvestment fund that's designed to direct dollars to nonprofits, youth programs, vital community services. And again, we're not talking about charity, we're talking about justice. But I think what excites me the most today is the project's commitment to democracy. These are challenging times for democracy. But this project will help our communities understand democracy as a lived experience. And that's why I'm thrilled, especially about the Museum of Freedom and Democracy, which will include international art and historical artifacts, including segments of the Berlin Wall. Now more than ever, we need history to live. The expansive park that will be built, the cultural spaces, the children's area, they all say that public space matters and that the people of New York deserve a quality of life that is dignified. And that belonging is not a luxury, it's a human right. So, as a woman of faith, I say, like Dr. King, he said, let freedom ring. I say, let Freedom Plaza rise. Because when we center people in our plans, we're not talking about developing land, we're talking about uplifting lives. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Next is Catherine Demby. Catherine Demby. Bear with me one moment. Next up is Patrick Hill. Patrick Hill. Next up is Sarah Armet. Sarah Armet.
Hi there, Sarah Armet, Upper East Sider, community leader, Chabad of the Upper East Side, luxury retail professional. I've lived and worked in Manhattan for the past 15 years, started my career in specialty stores like Bergdorf Goodman and Barney's New York, launched my own product at Saks Fifth Avenue, and over the past 5 years, I've opened retail stores for luxury brands, specifically fashion corridors in Manhattan and Williamsburg. I just want to say this whole development, I know Andrew Aryeh touched on what Hudson Yards has done for the west side of Manhattan. There is no retail environment that's experiential like the Freedom Plaza initiative on the east side. I believe with the UN being right there, it will be amazing for consumerism, amazing for the economy. It will be driving tourism in from Long Island to the retail and the restaurants. In addition, somebody mentioned the close proximity to 42nd Street and transportation. I believe that Freedom Plaza will be the next retail destination in Manhattan, and I am excited to see or learn more about what the vision and the tenant mix will look like and how we can. I see driving traffic as a good thing on this call, not a bad thing. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, and I look forward to hearing from other community members.
Thank you. The next speaker is Avi Winner. Avi Winner.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share. My name is Avi Winner. I'm a third-generation New Yorker, Jewish New Yorker, and I'm director of PR marketing at Chabad International and a rabbi at Chabad Young Professionals of the Upper East Side. Growing up in New York, I've seen how the city has changed. There's been ups, there've been downs, and you see how a single project could really transform an entire area. And the lack of development can actually transform in the negative as well. And it really depends on who's spearheading that project. And I have, as a New Yorker, seen how the Soloviev Foundation and business company has been working together with New Yorkers, with the people. They've opened their space on 9 West. They've opened their space by the Field of Lights, and they're really integrated into the New York community, and they care, and they've actually been stepping up. Since October 7th and the rise in anti-Semitism, 150% rise in anti-Semitism in New York City. Some organizations step up and some don't, and Solo Foundation has been there for us, and really and you see even in the development of the actual project, they're so integrated in making sure that everything is as partners with the community, opening up jobs, union jobs, opening up opportunities for green spaces with so much, so many, the concrete jungle that we love. There needs to be green spaces and opportunities for jobs. They're doing it with the people, and we've already seen them accomplish and do that so beautifully and powerfully, stepping up already. And that gives us a lot of confidence for the future. So really excited to see how this will transform the community for the better. And I think even in the challenges that people brought up, you can decide to lean in and look at the challenges and deal with the challenges. And that's the type of people that the Soloviev Foundation are. And they're willing partners. They're understanding. They have the same values that we have as New Yorkers. And you see, even they're opening a whole space just to give over the democratic values of freedom. And that's something that's so important and so needed now more than ever. And I just thank you guys all for the opportunity to share. And I'm proud and excited. I'm looking forward for the tremendous transformation, positive transformation that we're going to see in this area of Manhattan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Kelly Sexton. Kelly Sexton. Okay, hold please while I refresh the queue. Next is Danny Samet. Danny Samet.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, my name is Donnie Samet. I am a member of Chabad of the Upper East Side, and I'm here speaking on behalf of Chabad and the Soulavive Group. And I am in big support of this project. And I wanted to say on my part that I think it's so important that the Freedom Plaza development continues to thrive. And this project really takes place because of the significance of the job creation that it promises, both during the construction and in the long term. Not only is this job going to create and generate thousands of well-paying union construction jobs, offering critical opportunities for local workers and apprenticeships that build lasting careers. Beyond the construction phase, the Freedom Plaza will support a diverse range of permanent jobs in retail, hospitality, maintenance, and professional services, creating a stable employment base for the community. At a time when economic recovery and job security are top concerns, this development offers a path forward by investing in people, skills, and long-term livelihoods. So I am in a big support of this on behalf of Chabad of the Upper East Side and the Soulavive Group, and I hope we continue to hear good things from this upcoming project. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Evan Rabin. Evan Rabin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Evan Rabin. I'm also a community member of Chabad of the Upper East Side and owner of Premier Chess. And I support the Freedom Plaza because of the innovative community reinvestment fund, the inclusion of new parks, and probably most substantively the significant job creation that it'll create. So look forward to hopefully seeing it come to fruition. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Next is Devora Wilhelm. Devora Wilhelm.
Hi there. Am I set?
You are all set.
Okay, great. Hi, Devora Wilhelm. I am one of the founders and leaders of Chabad Young Professionals community on the Upper East Side. And I was born and raised on the Upper East Side. I have a lot of pride in Manhattan, but let's just say certain parts get you more excited than others. And the amount of times I've driven or walked or biked by, the First Avenue near the East River, down there in Midtown, it's very depressing. I'm like, this is such a gorgeous spot with so much potential, and there's nothing here. I am someone who loves the city, will always live here. But like I said, some areas have been, maximized or in that direction, and others are you just feel like a wasteland. And the idea that that wasteland, which is what it looked like before at least the Field of Lights were there and other initiatives, can turn into this gorgeous highlight, something that will give our community and our city so much pride. I'm a parent. I'm somebody who enjoys walking around, like even just the visuals of what it will look like, besides for all the experiences that we'll have as well. I just think it's an elevation, a no-brainer. I'm also so heartwarmed and appreciative of the Soulavive Group. Such good energy, positivity, growth-minded, community-minded, and inclusive in the sense of all types, all backgrounds, all observances, all religions. And it feels like the perfect group, that the community can get behind and be excited about a project that they're initiating and spearheading and doing. Yeah, I really only have, I'm eager for this project to come to fruition. And those are the things I wanted to focus on. Thank you for the opportunity to be a part of the support and the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Kelly Sexton. We'll come back to her. Next is Michelle DeMilly. Michelle DeMilly. Next is Daniel White. Daniel White. Next is Tyler Callum. Tyler Callum. Next is Jeremy Heinrich. Jeremy Heinrich.
Hello, my name is Jeremy Heinrich. I live on the mid-east side in Stuytown, and I'm in strong support of this project. I've been going to the initial details about it from the very beginning. I've been to Mohegan Sun many times as a gambler and gambled all over the world and the country, and they are very impressive. It's always been a nice facility. We all know that there is going to be other, three proposals that are going to be approved. So why not have it on the east side where we need the development? Everything is always on the west side. Yes, there's going to be traffic, but there's going to be traffic no matter where you put this. And I feel like they have a plan in place for that. A lot of people are talking about the parking. The parking is going to be underground. It's going to be all valet. So you're not going to have to worry about cars being backed up trying to get parked. I think they have the best proposal. The affordable housing is going to be great. I'm hoping to be able to get one of those as a healthcare worker as well in the area. So I'm a strong supporter of this project, and I think it will bring great jobs to the area, permanent jobs, and also provide much needed revenue to the east side. And more development that will be great for us all along. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Paul Lipson. Paul Lipson. Next is Michael Balboni. Michael Balboni.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I'm the former Homeland Security Advisor for the state of New York, and I participated in vulnerability assessments across the globe, various clientele. The story here, in terms of safety and security, begins at Mohegan Sun. As the operators, they bring a certain brand to the security and the safety and of the gaming experience. If you go into their facility, you see that they have this great mix of guards, but who interact with the participants. They know what's going on the floor. That's going to be the same thing that's going to happen at Freedom Plaza. It's going to be a seamless interconnection of uniformed officers, plainclothes officers, cameras, license plate readers, and frankly, knowing what's going on the floor itself. In addition to which, the Freedom Plaza is uniquely situated geographically right next to the United Nations that we can draw on many, many mutual aid opportunities. Everything from the New York City Police Department that actually has a program where you can hire uniform officers to work on site, as well as doing partnerships with the state police and with the United Nations Security, forming this great awareness and robust response for the entire community. In addition to which, the last piece is, a lot of the different proposals have a lot of different access points. Freedom Plaza, because it's against the drive and the river, has a unique opportunity to really know who's coming onto the property, and make sure that they're people who want to enjoy a good gaming experience. The security at Freedom Plaza will be top of the line. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Chaya Milworn. Chaya Milworn.
Hey, this is Chaya Milworn.
Okay.
So as someone that lives on the Upper East Side, I think the project is super necessary, not just because of all the good that it will bring to the community, but there is a very big need for housing, as I'm sure everyone is aware, and the casino aspect will be bringing a lot of business as well as entertainment, as well as, the park space would be great. I definitely feel like the East Side can certainly use some of that in the city.
Thank you. Next is Daniel Dunlow.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Daniel Dunlow, and I'm one of those small town son of a farmer kid that moved to the big city with Broadway dreams. And over the last 15 years, I am now a professional in our New York entertainment industry, focused on work on Broadway, off-Broadway, concert, cabaret, and immersive experiential installations. And I'm proud to express my strong support of the project from the Solovev Group and Mohegan's proposed development for Freedom Plaza, including their thoughtful operation of the gaming site and the broader cultural and civic programming they intend to implement on the property. The team so far has shown a commendable level of due diligence, engaging proactively with the community concerns and approaching this project with a clear sense of opportunity, but also responsibility. Their commitment is not only visionary, but substantial, pointing out their minimum of a $5 million annual investment fund dedicated to supporting the community, the creation of those union jobs in our entertainment sector as well, and a long-term investment into New York's cultural economy, which helps run our New York tourism. Importantly, this development is located outside of the traditional boundaries of the Broadway Theater District and the Off-Broadway Theater District, and as such, it does not threaten the existing theatrical infrastructure like other proposals you may receive. It doesn't cannibalize audiences from our core institutions. Instead, it offers a complementary and much-needed extension, one that activates an underutilized part of our city, creates a new cultural touch point, and helps decentralize the existing arts and entertainment in New York City. And by doing so, it relieves pressure on an oversaturated market. I'm sure we all know the increasing costs of attending a Broadway production starring George Clooney. But it can be prohibitive for many residents and visitors. But by creating a more accessible and diverse entertainment and cultural options spreading across our city, this project not only supports the creative economy, but enhances New York appeal as a cultural destination. This proposal is thoughtful, it is community-minded, and I could not support it more. Thank you.
Linus, okay. Hold, please.
No comments for me.
Thank you. Next is Frances Ann Judge. Frances Ann Judge.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I've been a resident of Tudor City for 50 years. I look down on the lot. It sounds like such a great thing, but it really isn't. This is a quiet neighborhood. We have to have some kind of quiet neighborhoods in the city. We don't need congestion. We are now being charged. We're in the zone. We can't even leave our zone without having to pay. It's going to cause all sorts of problems between garbage, people causing all sorts of disruptions in a very peaceful area. And I think the people who say that it's needed in this neighborhood should come to this neighborhood and really look at it. I would like a park there. That's a great idea. But a casino, no. And the traffic is going to be the worst of anything. Sorry, I didn't have any notes because I didn't know I could speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Diana Carter.
No comment. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Dara McKillen. All right, Mike Piccirillo.
All right. Good evening. My name is Michael Piccirillo. I'm the Director of Area Standards for the New York City District Council of Carpenters. We represent thousands of hardworking, skilled union carpenters across the 5 boroughs who are committed to quality and fair labor standards. Freedom Plaza isn't just another development. It's a project that will deliver real benefits to real people. It's going to bring affordable housing and green space to the community, and that kind of investment has a direct human impact. Just as important, it's going to create thousands of union jobs that will pay family-sustaining wages, not just during construction, but well into the future through permanent, good-paying positions. Right now, construction in the city is in a downturn, and we need projects like this to keep our members working and to give the people of New York a path to stability. I also want to point out that the Soul of Eve Group has always understood the value of union labor and the importance of doing right by the workers who build this city. At the end of the day, it's about more than buildings and permits. It's about opportunity, about giving New Yorkers the chance to support their families and build better lives. We strongly urge the state to support the Freedom Plaza project and help make this vision a reality. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the pre-registered list. If there are anybody whose name I called and joined late or wasn't able to connect, please raise your hand.
Oh my goodness, I went last.
There's one. I will turn it back over to Rob. If you want to.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you, Mr. Park. We're going to take about a 5-minute break now just to allow anyone else who might be on the call that hasn't raised their hands to get the courage to make a comment, and to allow anybody with technical issues or had been passed over when Mr. Park called your name the first time round to get back in and on. So we'll come back in about 5 minutes time. Thank you for bearing with us. Please. Okay. Thank you for bearing with us during the break. Lee, has there been anyone else that have registered?
No, I mean, anybody who does wish to make a comment, please use the raise hand function under the reactions on the Zoom tab. And again, I ask if you've already commented, please reserve time for other individuals. We'll give it a minute for anybody who wishes to comment to assemble or to raise their hand, and then we'll unmute them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we do have somebody just identified as AP. Oops. Okay, you're unmuted.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much, Mr. Park. It's AP. My name is Andres Puerta, and I really appreciate this opportunity. I'm a representative of the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 30. We are a trade union that represents engineers and maintenance facility workers throughout New York, including in gaming facilities like Resorts World in Queens, and the casino in Yonkers as well. And so we have a lot of experience with gaming facilities in the industry and casinos and what they can mean for workers. Um, and so the reason I want to speak up today, I should say, we also represent engineers at some of New York City's landmark facilities like the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty, and so uh, we're very well experienced in what some of these landmark facilities and tremendous entertainment venues could mean for working people in the community. The principal reason I wanted to come on, and again, I appreciate allowing me to speak tonight, is that we understand that there are concerns with these projects as presented. We're asking that the commission take the totality of these projects into consideration, especially what they could mean for local communities and working people in those communities. We have been in contact with the developers of the Freedom Plaza. We can say to you that they have committed in writing to us to providing local workers in the community the opportunity to work here, to unionize here, become members of our union, earn family sustaining benefits, family sustaining wages, and a chance to retire with dignity one day. This is something that our union fights for every day under the leadership of William Lynn, who is our business manager and also international vice president, who has really transformed this union into becoming one that has made great gains for New York City workers and for New Yorkers throughout the state, frankly. And so, we will continue to do that. And we can say confidently that the developers have held out their hand to us. They have offered a partnership in meeting those goals. That's really what we wanted to say here. I'm still under the time limit, which would be a first for me ever. And I really appreciate your time and your consideration.
Thank you. Next up is Sheila Kaplan. Your line is open. Sheila Kaplan. Okay, appears to have been disconnected, or no, the line is still open. A reminder, if you do wish to make a comment, please use the raise hand function in the Zoom feature under the reactions. Okay, we have Gershon Haft.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I just was listening earlier, and then I had to step out for a second. The Solivive Group and the plaza that he wishes to build in Midtown, I believe, will be a huge asset for the city. Someone who was born in New York City and who is someone who has been a part of the New York City community for many years now, and who used to work in Midtown. I think that would be a huge asset for everything involved with the expansion of just developing Manhattan. Also, everything about Liberty and the Democracy Center, in which will be developed, I really think will be a huge asset for the city. I'm a proud New Yorker. I always have been, and I'm really excited for what's to come. Also, want to add that, he really, no, that's everything.
Thank you. And again, if you wish to make a comment, please use the raise hand function under reactions on the Zoom. Or if you're on a phone, I believe it's *9. And again, if you wish to make a comment, please feel free to use the raise hand function on the Zoom under reactions. Mr. Williams, at this time, I don't see anybody else volunteering to make a comment.
Great. As there are no remaining speakers and we have passed the end of the scheduled time, the public comment portion of tonight's session has now concluded. If anyone has had difficulties providing comment today, recall that you can submit written comments by using one of the methods that's listed on this slide. Comments can be submitted by email to kristen.buckley@gaming.ny.gov or by mail to the Gaming Commission at 354 Broadway, P.O. Box 7500, Schenectady, New York, 12301-7500. All comments must be received before 5 o'clock on June 10th, 2025. The time is now 7:51, and this public scoping session is now concluded. Thank you all for joining us tonight.